We've developed two highly intelligent philosophical AI models trained to debate one of the most controversial scientific questions of the modern era, a flat Earth believer.
Hi, I believe the Earth is flat.
And a science supporter.
Hi, I trust mainstream science.
We've put them head-to-head to confront four of the most debated flat Earth questions, ordered from least to most difficult to answer. To keep things fair, 3 independent AI judges will score every round. The first round starts off hot. Round 1, if Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, why don't we feel it?
Because speed isn't felt, acceleration is. Earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour, but the motion is smooth, constant, and frictionless. That's Newton's first law. You only feel changes in motion. You don't feel movement in a plane cruising at altitude. Same principle. Foucault's pendulum physically proves Earth's rotation. The Coriolis effect twists hurricanes in opposite hemispheres. Satellites and GPS systems depend on Earth's rotation to function at all. We measure this with laser gyroscopes, star tracking, and orbital mechanics. You don't feel it because the laws of physics don't care about your senses. They care about force, and there's none acting on you from steady rotation.
Now each of our 3 judges will rank their arguments 1 out of 100 based on their own criteria. The average will be added to each debater's total points. This argument had an average score of 86 points.
Smooth, constant, frictionless? That's the fairy tale. You're told Earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour, yet every tree, lake, and cloud sits perfectly still. Not a breeze, not a tremor. Planes flying in opposite directions land in the same time. Explain that if the ground's whirling beneath them. Foucault's pendulum? Man-made and manipulated. Coriolis? Inconsistent and conveniently corrected. GPS, ground towers, and line of sight, not satellites. Laser gyros do detect motion, but when they showed 15 degrees drift, flat earthers caught it. Not NASA. They dismissed it. You don't feel the spin because it doesn't exist. The laws of physics are twisted to preserve the lie. Trust your senses. The ground isn't moving.
61 points.
Your senses once said the sun revolved around Earth. They were wrong. Reality doesn't bow to your gut. It bows to evidence. Planes take the same time, going east or west, because they move with the atmosphere, which rotates with Earth due to gravity and friction, proven by conservation of angular momentum. Foucault's pendulum can't fake its path. It rotates exactly as predicted by latitude. Coriolis forces do shift storms. You can't fake cyclone spin on satellite radar. GPS relies on orbiting satellites, triangulating from space, not towers. That 15 degrees drift, that proves Earth's rotation. Flat earthers caught reality and denied it. Physics doesn't twist to lie. You do.
88 points.
Your senses said the sun moved because it does. You stopped believing them because textbooks told you not to. Planes fly in every direction with identical times, yet the ground is supposedly spinning beneath them. That defies basic motion. Foucault's pendulum needs calibration and external input. Coriolis doesn't bend bullets or planes consistently. GPS works from towers and high-altitude platforms, not mythical satellites. The 15-degree drift was detected by flat earthers and ignored by globe defenders. You worship equations while denying direct experience. That's not science. That's faith. The ground you stand on isn't spinning. It's motionless. Always has been.
58 points.
The sun appears to move because you're on a spinning sphere. That's not opinion. It's proven by time-lapse photography, solar tracking systems, and orbital mechanics. Planes fly inside an atmosphere rotating with Earth. Same reason a fly can move in a moving train. Foucault's pendulum operates without motors. It shifts over time because Earth is turning beneath it. Coriolis forces bend storms, ocean currents, and long-range artillery. Not sometimes, always. GPS uses satellites orbiting Earth, triangulating positions to within meters. That 15-degree drift measured by a laser gyroscope, it matches Earth's known rotation. Flat earthers caught reality red-handed, then denied it. Science didn't blink.
89 points.
You claim the sun only appears to move because Earth spins, but that's never been directly observed. We see the sun rise and set across a flat horizon. No curve, no tilt. Planes flying east or west land in the same time. That wouldn't happen on a rotating ball. Foucault's pendulum shifts because it's manipulated to. Coriolis force vanishes at small scales and magically reappears in storms. GPS uses ground towers and high-altitude balloons, not invisible satellites. That 15-degree drift detected by a gyroscope wasn't Earth's spin. It was ignored because it didn't fit the script. Your senses are right. The Earth is still.
57 points.
Every claim you made collapses under hard evidence. The sun's motion is fully explained by Earth's rotation, confirmed for centuries. Foucault's pendulum behaves exactly as physics predicts, not by manipulation. Coriolis force scales with system size, seen clearly in hurricanes and jet streams. Planes land consistently because the atmosphere moves with Earth. GPS uses satellites, tracked in real time, visible through telescopes. The 15-degree drift seen in gyroscopes confirms Earth's spin. Your senses can be wrong. Instruments are not. Rejecting all this isn't insight. It's willful ignorance. Science doesn't ask for belief. It demands proof, and it delivers.
90 points.
You call that hard evidence? It's a house of cards built on trust, not truth. You assume the atmosphere spins with the Earth, but never ask how that magic glue works. GPS, ground towers, and classified tech, not magic space orbs. Gyroscopes drift because they're programmed to. Telescopes see lights, not satellites. Foucault's pendulum produces different spins depending where it's set up. That's not universal physics, that's stagecraft. You bow to authority, not observation. Science didn't deliver proof, it delivered control. You traded thinking for repeating. The globe is a cult, and you're deep in the ritual.
55 points.
You call it stagecraft? Foucault's pendulum shows different shifts because Earth is a sphere. Its rotation affects latitude. That variation proves the model, not breaks it. GPS uses orbital data, not ground towers. Triangulation fails without satellites. Telescopes track their paths precisely. They're not lights. They have identifiers, trajectories, and decay rates. Gyroscopes aren't programmed to drift. Their precision is trusted in aerospace, navigation, and spaceflight. If they lied, rockets would crash and planes would vanish. They don't. You cry control while ignoring every testable, repeatable measurement. This isn't a cult. It's a system built on results. Yours runs on denial.
90 points.
Latitude affects pendulums. Then why do some give inconsistent results even in the same place? Because it's not proof, it's a parlor trick. GPS doesn't need space junk when ground-based towers handle coverage. Look up LORAN and land-based triangulation. Satellites are names on screens. Nobody's grabbing them out of the sky. Rockets don't prove spin, they arc and vanish, always out of public reach. And if gyros truly measured spin, why doesn't every plane adjust for rotation mid-flight? Your system depends on trust, not transparency. Repeatable? Sure, as long as you obey the rules. That's not science, that's theater.
56 points. Round 1 goes to the scientists. Logic takes the lead. Round 2. If Earth is flat, why do ships disappear bottom first over the horizon?
Because you're mistaking perspective for curvature. Objects vanish bottom first due to angular resolution and atmospheric compression. Ever used a zoom lens? The disappeared ship comes right back into view. That wouldn't happen on a curved ball. On a globe, no optics would reverse a planetary drop, but on a flat plane, distance and density distort your line of sight. It's not vanishing, it's blending into the horizon line. That's physics you can test, not theory you're told to believe. Stop repeating the textbook. Start using your eyes. The lie collapses when you look for yourself.
62 points.
That zoom lens argument fails under direct observation. Ships vanish hull first, even through high-powered optics. Zoom reveals more detail, but it cannot restore what is physically blocked. Time-lapse footage confirms this. No blending, no distortion, just geometry. If angular resolution were to blame, entire ships would fade uniformly. They don't. The bottom goes first, every time. That's curvature in action. If Earth were flat, distant skylines would remain visible. They vanish because Earth curves. That's not theory. That's repeatable measurement. You claim to follow evidence, yet reject every result that proves you wrong. This isn't about seeing. It's about refusing to look.
90 points.
Hull first disappearance, then explain why infrared zoom cuts through the curve and brings back city skylines 50 plus miles out. That defies globe math. You say geometry, I say manipulated perception. Atmospheric conditions, water vapor, and vanishing point convergence make the lower parts fade first. You cherry pick what fits the sphere model, ignore when it breaks. Chicago from across Lake Michigan? Impossible on a globe. Yet there it is. Not a mirage, but detail. Not theory, but footage. If the curve was real, that would never happen. You trust a math model. I trust my eyes. And they're wide open.
58 points.
You trust your eyes? Then explain why that skyline vanishes again as conditions stabilize. Infrared cuts through haze, not through solid Earth. What you're seeing is not the city breaking curvature. It's atmospheric refraction. Light bends when it passes through layers of air with different temperatures. That's been observed, measured, and modeled for over a century. The Chicago skyline over Lake Michigan appears only under rare inversion conditions. It's a looming mirage, not a flat Earth revelation. The globe model doesn't break. It predicts this. You're not exposing deception. You're misreading a phenomenon you refuse to study. Physics wins, always.
90 points.
Refraction bends light, sure, but you use it as a magic eraser every time the globe fails. When we see too far, it's refraction. When the curve's missing, it's mirage. So which is it? A consistent model or endless exceptions? Refraction doesn't lift entire cities into focus with full clarity and undistorted structure. That's visibility, not illusion. If Earth curved, no lens or weather pattern would negate 8 inches per mile squared. Yet we break that limit constantly. You don't have physics, you have excuses, always patching holes in a sinking lie. Flat Earth doesn't need bending light, just honest eyes.
57 points.
You think 8 inches per mile squared is gospel? That formula is a rough estimate, not precise globe math. It breaks down over distance and ignores observer height, terrain, and refraction, which isn't a magic eraser. It's a documented, measurable effect that bends light along temperature gradients. Ships, buildings, even mountains appear lifted or stretched under the right conditions. It's been photographed, filmed, and replicated in lab-controlled settings. When you see too far, it's because light didn't travel straight. Physics explains it. Flat Earth just waves it away. You want honesty? Then stop pretending optics override gravity, geometry, and centuries of measurement.
92 points.
You say centuries of measurement, I say centuries of unquestioned dogma. That 8 inches per mile squared isn't a rough guess. It's the model you brag about until it fails. Then it's all refraction, distortion, exception, convenient. But we don't just see too far, we see too clearly. Full skylines, sharp edges, no warping. That's not bent light, that's a flat horizon defying your math. And don't talk gravity, the same force that can't be measured directly, only inferred. You trust invisible forces and scripted explanations. I trust the visible world. The Earth doesn't curve, the lie does.
54 points.
No, you don't see clearly. You see selectively. Those sharp skylines vanish under normal conditions, visible only during rare inversions that bend light like a lens. That's not clarity, that's distortion. It's been filmed bending railways, lifting boats, splitting suns. That's not theory, that's documented. 8 inches per mile squared is not the model. It's a shortcut used by amateurs. Real globe math uses trigonometry and matches satellite data, radar returns, and laser experiments over frozen lakes. All show curvature. Gravity? It's measured by torsion balances, Cavendish experiments, GPS corrections, and satellite orbits. It's not invisible, it's undeniable, just like the curve.
92 points.
You say it's documented, I say it's manipulated. A skyline doesn't appear crystal clear in full detail from 60 miles away because of some rare temperature trick. That's damage control. Laser tests on frozen lakes, done. And they show zero drop. Radar returns, always calibrated to a globe model. GPS, ground-based and classified, not floating satellites. Cavendish, nobody outside the lab repeats it without bias. Gravity, still undefined, unproven, and violated by density and buoyancy daily. You cling to models because you fear a reality that isn't controlled, but the curve's never there, and the lie's running out of places to hide.
52 points.
Laser tests on frozen lakes have shown drop when done correctly, controlling for refraction, beam divergence, and equipment precision. When amateurs skip those steps, they get garbage data. That's not proof. That's failure to replicate. Radar works because the Earth curves. Its blind spots match curvature predictions. GPS, verified by trilateration using orbital timing signals, not ground towers. Those signals are tracked, time-stamped, and synchronized globally. Cavendish has been replicated by high schools, universities, and independent labs. Gravity isn't undefined, it's quantifiable. You ignore centuries of controlled, peer-reviewed results because they don't flatter your bias. That's not research, that's delusion.
93 points. Round 2, another win for science. Evidence stays undefeated. Round 3, if we've been to the moon, why haven't we gone back?
We did go back. 6 crewed Apollo landings between 1969 and 1972. That's not a one-off. That's a campaign. Each mission returned with lunar rocks, deployed seismometers, left retroreflectors still used today. We haven't returned since not because we can't, but because of cost, politics, and shifting priorities. The Saturn V was retired. The Cold War cooled. NASA budgets shrank. Science shifted to unmanned missions. But now we are going back. Artemis is underway. Hardware built. Crews named. The moon was never a hoax. It was the greatest engineering feat in human history. Denying it is historical vandalism.
91 points.
6 landings with 0 uncut footage of a full Earth in motion, 0 stars in photos, identical shadows, slow motion walks on dusty sets. You call that history? I call it theater. Retroreflectors, easily placed by unmanned craft or Earth-based trickery. Moon rocks, can't prove origin without trusting the same gatekeepers selling the story. NASA didn't lose the tech, they lost the script. Billions vanished, yet can't replicate 60s magic with modern tools. That's not shifting priorities. That's a cover-up. Artemis, PR for the programmed. We never went. We never left low Earth orbit. The moon landings were the lie that launched them all.
58 points.
No stars? Because of camera exposure, same reason you don't see stars in daylight photos on Earth. Identical shadows? Explained by uneven terrain and a single light source, the sun. That's not a stage, that's physics. Slow motion? Matched perfectly with lunar gravity, confirmed by drop tests. No studio on Earth could fake that with 1960s tech. Retroreflectors bounce lasers, they're still working, and no unmanned mission placed them. Moon rocks? Tested worldwide, their isotopic signatures don't match Earth. That's not trust, that's data. NASA didn't lose the tech, they archived it. Rebuilding it takes time. Conspiracies are easy, rocket science isn't.
91 points.
You excuse every inconsistency with post-facto rationalization. No stars, blame exposure. Identical shadows, blame terrain. Impossible slow-mo, magic gravity. You believe they filmed flawless space ballet with 60s tech, but can't replicate it today with 8K cameras and billion-dollar budgets. That's absurd. Retroreflectors could have been placed robotically, or even faked with ground-based reflectors. You wouldn't know. Moon rocks, only proven by the same agencies controlling the narrative. And NASA didn't archive the tech. They admitted it was destroyed. That's not a pause. That's an erasure. You're defending a myth wrapped in math. Rockets won't save a lie this deep.
58 points.
You're not exposing flaws, you're denying documented, testable physics. No stars in photos, known photographic limits, identical shadows, optical geometry, slow motion, matches lunar gravity exactly, with dust behavior impossible to fake in atmosphere. The idea we can't replicate it is nonsense. Artemis is already doing it with modern tech. Retroreflectors can't be faked from Earth. They reflect only when targeted precisely on the moon. Moon rocks have unique helium-3 content, micrometeorite damage, and isotopic ratios never found on Earth. NASA never said the tech was destroyed. They said the tooling was decommissioned, not erased. You're not revealing truth. You're recycling debunked fiction.
92 points.
Debunked fiction? You mean the lie sold with TV screens and Cold War hype? You claim physics, but ignore common sense. No stars, so exposure tech could shoot crisp lunar scenes, but not capture the brightest lights in the sky. Convenient. Dust arcs and perfect slow-mo? That's parlor trick footage, not physics. Artemis is PR, not proof. Retro reflectors reflect, but where's the uncut footage placing them? You trust lab isotopes more than your own logic. And NASA did say the tech was gone. Watch the interview. They can't go back because they never went. You're defending a legacy hoax. Wake up.
57 points.
You call it common sense. I call it ignorance, in defiance of overwhelming evidence. No stars? That's exactly how exposure works. Short shutter for bright foreground, stars vanish. Basic photography. Dust arcs? Seen only in low gravity and vacuum. No air resistance. No Hollywood rig in 1969 could fake it. Retro reflectors were placed during Apollo 11 and 14 and still return laser signals to this day. That's proof, not a press release, not belief, repeatable data. Moon rocks aren't lab tricks. Their isotope profiles and solar wind exposure confirm deep space origin. You watched a clip. Science built the rockets.
93 points.
Exposure excuses don't cover decades of missing stars across all missions. Every shot perfectly lit yet never captures the sky? That's not coincidence, it's censorship. You trust dust arcs more than logic? That's faith, not science. No atmosphere, yet shadows misalign. Lighting is studio perfect, and footage slows exactly where it sells the illusion. Retro reflectors return signals, but who placed them? You trust claims, not proof. Moon rocks? Just labeled samples guarded by the very system pushing the myth. You worship labs and logos, not evidence. Rockets were built to maintain belief. You didn't witness the moon landings. You watched a show.
57 points.
You think missing stars proves a hoax? Astronauts explained it in real time. Cameras weren't set for stars. They were set for lit subjects. That's optics, not censorship. Shadows misaligned because of uneven terrain and wide-angle lens distortion. You'd know that if you tested it. Lighting was harsh, unfiltered sunlight. Studio perfect? No studio in 1969 could fake that lighting under vacuum conditions. Dust behavior, shadow angles, radiation measurements all match what happens on the moon, not Earth. Retro reflectors were placed during crewed missions. That's documented and testable. You didn't expose a fraud. You exposed your refusal to accept reality.
91 points.
You parrot explanations as if they override contradiction. Camera settings are a cover. No stars in any shot across 6 missions, not one exposed frame. That's not optics, it's omission. Shadows don't misalign from terrain, they bend from studio lights. Dust behavior, conveniently flawless in every frame, yet never replicated on Earth. You call that lunar proof. I call it Hollywood precision. Retro reflectors, still no raw footage placing them. Just trust, not evidence. Radiation. You ignore the Van Allen belts. The deadliest layer supposedly passed through unscathed. You didn't land on the moon. You landed in a TV studio.
54 points. Round 3 goes to the scientists again. The facts aren't budging. Round 4. If Earth is flat, why can't we see Mount Everest from everywhere?
Simple. Distance, atmosphere, and perspective, not curvature, block your view. Everest isn't invisible because the Earth curves. It's invisible because air isn't perfectly clear and your eyes aren't telescopes. Ever tried seeing across a smoky room? Same principle. Light scatters. Moisture, dust, and pollution choke line of sight. On a flat Earth, the limit is visibility, not drop. The globe hides behind math, but real-world sight fades because of density, not shape. You can't see Everest everywhere for the same reason you can't see a streetlight through thick fog, not because it fell over a curve.
63 points.
Wrong. If Earth were flat, Everest would be visible from hundreds of miles away on a clear day. It's not. Even with crystal clear skies and powerful optics, it stays hidden. Not faded, not blurry, but completely obscured. Why? Because it's below the horizon, blocked by curvature. Atmospheric clarity affects visibility, but it doesn't erase massive objects. Line-of-sight laser tests confirm the drop. Long-range photography confirms the curve. Pilots and surveyors account for it daily. This isn't math hiding truth, it's math revealing it. You're not seeing a limit of visibility, you're seeing the unmistakable fingerprint of a curved planet.
90 points.
Number. What you call a fingerprint is just the flaw in a theory passed off as fact. Everest isn't visible because the air between us and it is dense, layered, and light scattering. Line of sight laser tests, plenty show no drop. Bending light, bending data. Anything but admitting the globe fails the eye test. Pilots fly level, never nose down. Surveyors use plane-based tools, not curve-based logic. If Everest is hidden by curve, why do we see objects farther at higher elevation? That's perspective, not planet shape. The globe needs you to believe you're upside down, even when everything you see screams otherwise.
59 points.
You say pilots fly level? That level adjusts constantly to Earth's curve. It's called the flight director. Altimeters are calibrated to a spherical model. GPS systems, gyros, and inertial nav all assume a globe, and they work. Surveyors use geodetic coordinates, which correct for curvature over long distances. Your claim that elevation changes visibility? That's exactly what a sphere predicts. The higher you go, the farther you see, because you're rising above the curve. Everest is hidden at distance because it sits below the geometric horizon. You ignore the tools, the math, the measurements. The globe doesn't fail the eye test. Denial does.
92 points.
Flight director. Just more jargon masking blind trust. Pilots don't dip the nose every few miles because there's no curve to follow. Gyros stay level. Inertial systems drift. And all based on assumptions, not proof. Surveyors, they use flat earth math for short-range precision. Globe theory only kicks in for long-range corrections. Corrections that assume curvature, never measure it. GPS, ground-based triangulation, not orbiting magic balls. Higher elevation means fewer obstructions, not proof of a curve. Everest isn't below a horizon. It's behind atmospheric haze and distance. Your globe exists in diagrams and screens, not in the sky above you.
57 points.
Jargon? No. Instrumentation. Pilots don't dip the nose manually because aircraft pitch adjusts naturally with gravity over a curve. Gyroscopes detect orientation changes against Earth's rotation, proven by fiber optic gyros that log a 15-degree-per-hour drift. That's not drift, that's spin. Surveyors use planar math for small plots, but geodetic models account for curvature over larger spans. They measure it. GPS? Fully satellite-based, confirmed by ground stations, tracked in real time, and crucial for precision timing. If Earth were flat, none of this tech would function. You trust haze, anecdotes, and rejection. We trust instruments that work. Everywhere, every time.
93 points.
You trust instruments built to confirm the system that funds them. Gyros drift, that's programming, not spin. Flight systems assume a sphere, they don't prove one. GPS works off towers, repeaters, and controlled signals, not floating metal speeding through vacuum. You claim measured curvature, yet no engineer builds bridges with it. Surveyors work flat and correct after, not during. Timing, all synced by ground clocks, not satellites. You put blind faith in a machine and call it proof. I'll take visible, testable reality over coded obedience. The globe's only constant is its excuses. When the data fails, the system blames you.
51 points.
Number instruments aren't built to confirm a system, they confirm each other across independent platforms. Gyros aren't programmed to drift. Mechanical, laser, and fiber optic models all detect Earth's rotation without code. That's physics, not software. GPS requires satellite trilateration, proven by triangulated signal delays, not towers. Remove the satellites, and GPS collapses. Bridges, engineers do factor Earth's curve over long spans. Look at the Verrazzano Narrows. Its towers differ in height by over an inch due to curvature. Surveyors use flat geometry locally and geodetic models globally. You trust gut instinct. We trust precision, confirmed by reality. The data doesn't fail. Denial does.
94 points.
Independent platforms, they're all funded, calibrated, and synchronized by the same institutions pushing the globe. You think fiber optic gyros prove spin? Then why don't planes adjust their pitch for a rotating ball? They fly level, always. GPS needs satellites? Then show one, uncut, in space, orbiting Earth. You won't. Just animations and military control. Verrazzano's tower difference within margin of construction tolerance, not globe confirmation. Surveyors start flat. Globe math is the add-on. You mistake coordinated systems for independent proof. It's a web of circular trust, not discovery. Real science challenges models. You defend one like dogma.
52 points.
Planes don't pitch down because gravity curves their trajectory automatically. Fly level means follow the curvature. The instruments are aligned to Earth's center of mass. Fiber optic gyros measure rotation continuously, not by script but by light interference. They are used in rockets, subs, and satellites because they work. GPS satellites are tracked by amateur astronomers, radio hams, and independent stations. Their orbits are predictable, measurable, and essential. Verrazzano's tower offset exceeds construction tolerance. It matches curvature math precisely. Surveyors start flat because short distances don't reveal the curve. Over large spans, they must correct. That's not dogma, that's engineering.
95 points. And with round 4, the scientists sweep the debate. Reason reigns supreme. We hope you found this debate as thought-provoking as we did. This channel is built to push AI to its limits, so as AI evolves, these debates will only get more interesting. So subscribe and stay tuned.